How to warm up correctly for your V-taper workout. Let's get straight into it. First thing first, guys, you don't want to drain your energy and you first got to climb the hill before you climb the mountain. So what do I mean by that, guys? What I mean is the problem with a lot of people is they go into the gym and they do a lot of unnecessary warming up, right? That's going to drain their battery from the main course. Let's say it's bench pressing, right? Let's say you have to bench press as a chest day, right? What a lot of people do is they'll warm up for 30 minutes on a treadmill and do push-ups and sit-ups and all of these other things, right? That's going to drain their battery, guys. The best thing to do is to just start with that hill, right? Let's say you start with a 45, right? 45 on each side. You do like 2 or 3 reps of that. And then you put more on there, right? And then so on and so forth until you warm up to that mountain, which is 225. Once you reach 225, then you do all your sets, right? Which is, 4 sets to the 8 to 12 rep range, which I recommend, right? So that's how you do it, guys. That's how you warm up. That's the best way to warm up without draining your battery. The problem is, guys, if you drain your energy doing 30 minutes on a treadmill and doing these push-ups and sit-ups, by the time you actually reach the bread and butter, the meat and potatoes, which is going to give you that beautiful V-taper, you already drained. You're like, oh my goodness. Oh, you feel weak. And then that is going to give you weak results, right? Moving on. Number 2, right? As you can see with my drawing, right? It's Heisenberg, he got the little goatee and stuff like that. And then these are the compounds, right? So why do I have it drawn up there, right? Like that? It's because you guys want to first start out with compound lifts, guys. When you walk into that gym, you want to do compound lifts. You don't want to do isolated movements, right? Or all these other things, right, that require low energy because, like I said in the first, you're a battery, right? When you walk into that gym, you are a battery and everything you're doing is going to drain that energy, going to drain that battery. So you want to get bang for your buck. It makes the most sense to do the workout that requires the most energy that's going to give you the best ROI for that beautiful V-taper gain, right? So you wouldn't go in there and do seated curls. You would actually go in there and do lat pull downs, right? Or some rows, right? Some standing rows, right? Why is this? Because it's going to work multiple muscle groups, right? Which is going to require more energy, which you are already at your highest energy when you walk through the door. So you want to use your highest energy for the highest amount of return on your investment, which is going to give you a bang for your buck, which is going to build that beautiful, solid muscle, right? So start with the compounds. Always start with the compounds. And then after you're done with the compounds, then move into isolation works and accessory exercises, right? Number 3, right? As you can see here, this is Goku and this is Bulma, right? Now, I don't know why Bulma looked like she a football player or whatnot, but guys, you already know that I'm the greatest artist of all time. So guys, you got to work with me here, guys. But the thing is with Goku was a dynamic character. If you guys have watched it, he's a dynamic character. Super Saiyan 1, 2, 3, all that type of stuff, right? But Bulma, she was a static character. Her power levels never changed. Her power levels was pretty much the same through the whole series. She was just the same Bulma, right? I have these drawn to illustrate this, right? There's 2 types of stretches. You have dynamic stretches and you have static stretching, right? Dynamic stretching is where you're moving around, right? You're going like this, you're going like that. That is going to be your dynamic stretches, which is way better than static stretches. Why is dynamic stretches better for a V-taper workout than static stretches? It's because of this, right? Dynamic stretches is getting the blood flowing. You're getting the blood flowing, you're getting the muscles working, things of that nature. You're getting your body. It's sports specific, as ISSA say. It's a sports specific warm up, right, for your workouts. Sports specific, right? Now, static stretches, right, where you're just like holding it like this. You're holding your arm, you're holding your leg like this for a long time and stuff, is going to be more of a cool down phase, right? You're lengthening your muscles, which can be dangerous when you're trying to bench press, which is going to be dangerous when you're trying to do some rows, when you're doing shoulder presses. This is going to be dangerous. You do not want your body to be lengthened when you're trying to exercise because You know, the weight can come crashing down, your body's loose, so you don't have the tension, you don't have enough tension in your muscles to actually push that weight, right? So you want to save the static until the end. A lot of you guys get hurt because y'all do static first. You don't want to do that. Do dynamic. Just get the blood flowing. That's how your warm-up should be before you actually work out. So always do dynamic, guys, and don't do static, right? Static is for the end. Static is for the cool down, right? So just a little recap, right? First thing first, you don't want to drain your battery, right? So you don't want to spend time doing things contrary to your main course of your exercise. You first want to do the hill first, which is light weights, before you get to the mountain, which is going to be a working set, which is going to be your heavy weight or the weight you decide to lift that you're failing in the 8 to 12 rep range for that beautiful hypertrophy, right? To get you that V-taper, right? Number two, you want to focus on the Heisenberg, you know what I'm saying? You want to focus on the compounds. In the show, whatever, he was making chemical compounds. So remember that. You want to focus on the compound lifts first before you do anything else, because that's going to drain your battery, but it's going to give you the best ROI. So you want to spend your battery wisely, right? And then number three, right? Goku, dynamic stretches versus static stretches, right? You want to make sure you're getting your blood flowing by doing dynamic, sport-specific exercises, right? Warm-up exercises versus static, which is lengthening, right? Because this can be dangerous since you're lengthening it, you're cooling down your muscles, you lengthen it, you're stretching it out. You don't want that. You want to keep tension in your muscle. You want your muscles to have blood flowing through it, right? So you can be able to push that massive weight so you can get the massive V-taper gains, guys, right? And I always remember, guys, this is TVT, Coach Chris, the greatest trainer of all time. And if you don't know me, your mama know me because I probably trained her.